Good everyone. Finally happened. I think it's 8 or 10 months after I got an awesome message from this absolute champ here, Justin Amor, and we said, tell us about this awesome setting we're in, mate. It's upholstery everywhere, so we should have some good sound.
It's quite funny because I'm always talking about sort of changing my life to being a minimalist and cut out the bullshit, and you don't need the new car, you don't need this, and here we are sitting on this big massive launch in Mana, my floating office. We're in Mana in the marina, sitting on a boat that we absolutely love. And when I was in the bush with Dave, we're talking about this boat actually, I thought, man, I've got that boat, I love it, the family loves it. But we sell the boat, we're selling the section, we sell the house, we'll be mortgage free. Then I keep going on about just get rid of all the bullshit that you surround yourselves with. Yep, gonna sell the boat. Come out of the bush, night on the boat. Oh, this is awesome, can't sell it. Yeah.
No. Also, probably, for yourself, tells all that went in to get the boat as well. Is that right?
Yeah, it's also it fits with the house too. When you popped up and saw the house that we got is a bit too. It's too much of a house for us, and too much of a house for my beliefs now as well. So, as silly as it is, we keep the boat, we sell the house until we find the perfect land. To keep things simple, we live on the boat.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice. So, what are you looking for on land? Like, my dream is a little bit of mountain, hill, bush, and obviously deer and a few other animals. What's your idea of perfect land?
We've got one lined up at the moment in Manukau. It's Manukau down this way, not Manukau, Auckland. That's right on the boundary of the Tararua. The neighbour is 1,000 acres.
Wow.
Keys to the dock gate, which will be hopefully given to me soon, and we'll touch on why later on. Good running tracks. It's just all there, and I just want to live off the land, keep it simple, even turn the power off, live off. I'll try and work the family, and I'll have it so we're as self-sufficient as we can be. But I can just hit that switch and turn the power back on if we need to.
Yeah. So you talk about the family, and obviously you and Liv, you've got the, what are you guys called? Wild Eats?
Yep.
Is that right?
Wild Eats NZ, yeah.
Yeah. How do the kids get on with more rabbits or venison off the hill or fish out of the ocean like that? To you and me, that doesn't sound all bad, but how do the kids get on with that?
They absolutely thrive off it. They love it.
Yeah.
And it's not forced. It's incredible. It's quite easy to do now because there is so much rubbish, so much crap in foods. And when they're so used to eating wild game all the time, it's almost an Italian way of doing it where the food is such a big part of the family. Even when we eat, we're generally around the table, we implement where we talk about how was your day, your best part, your bad part, how you can improve the day, and that's all around the food. So then why not bring it back to the basics and respect the animal? And I was talking to you about it before. I want the reconciliation of the death of an animal to be on me. I don't want anyone else to do my dirty work. And we try and soften it by saying we're harvesting an animal, we harvest the deer. And I always used to do that, correct people when they say, oh, how can you shoot, how can you kill that deer? Oh no, I don't kill it, I harvest it. But now I just actually I do just kill that deer, I kill that animal. And if they don't have to, if they want to, they can. My 9-year-old is obsessed with it, and she'll be in there, she'll pull out the rabbit guts, she'll be right in there, and she'll want to know all the organs. I do make them watch now and then, at least once, so they can see what it takes and what's in there and how it works. And I'm going a little bit off track.
Mate, that's good.
With the food, even there are two of my kids are from another parent. Their mum had a hernia. So as I was gutting rabbits or hare or whatever it was, they both came running over and said, "Dad, can you just show us what a hernia is?" So it was quite amazing to relate an animal to an understanding of what their mum's going through. So that was quite cool. So anyway, going back to the food. So the food is such a big part of it. Liv's a massive driver of that as well, because the wild eats thing is all new to her as well. She's not a hunter. She just doesn't. She really loves the animals. She respects it. She won't sit there and watch me butcher, but she doesn't have to.
Yeah.
But she'll pull out an order. The other day when I said venison or rabbit, she's like, rabbit. And then another day will be venison, rabbit, or goat.
Yeah.
So that's how we live our lives. And over COVID, we're running out of wild meat. We had to go buy some meat for the last week, and the kids just thought it was horrible. It was incredible. Even a beautiful piece of Angus beef, and they were just turning their nose up on it. It was incredible. Yeah.
Mate, you brought up the Italian side of things there, and like all my heritage is Irish, but I have this massive fondness for Italian way of life and like provenance behind food, exactly what you're talking about there, and like sitting down and telling the story, and like I've had I went out with a girl at uni who was Croatian, and that was the same, like going for dinner at their house. They had like massive respect for food, and that probably comes out of times in Croatia and Serbia and Yugoslavia where food was tough to come by. Even Italy, food stuff was tough to come by for a lot of people, and so to hold such like dedication and value in food, it's probably why you have the story around it so that you can tell it. And rabbit especially in this country is, that's what you do in a depression. You go shoot the rabbits and get yourself a little bit of feed. Now obviously you need to chuck some fat with it, but rabbit's the thing that you can get plenty of if you've got a 22 or a 0.17 in your case. If
you ask pretty much anyone in the family or myself, if you could only choose one meat, what would it be? 100% it would be rabbit.
Yeah.
So versatile, so incredible. It's just a lot more work.
Yeah.
Butchering it all out, and especially we mince a lot of it.
Uh-huh.
But it's so versatile. It's incredible. And I can't believe that we don't hunt. It's almost like you start with the rabbit. That's the apprentice.
Yeah.
That's apprenticeship. And then you go bigger. But you don't go back to rabbits because you've done that. You've already washed those pots. You're not a dishwasher anymore.
Yeah.
But we just love it. And it's it fine-tunes you as well.
Oh, yeah.
With hunting. Especially with bow hunting. That's incredible.
Yeah, that's been what's super fun, because I guess I am at the start again. But then, like, partly I damaged my sight, so I'm missing the level, and it's hills where I go rabbit shooting, so you kind of need the level to some extent.
Sounds like you're blaming the tools a little bit.
A little bit. And that's what I was saying to my flatmate the other day. Bow hunting rabbits is quite good because you're either missing or you're hitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas a deer, if you're missing, you might be damaging, and that would not be fun.
No. Yeah,
but yeah, I've gone back to carrying the 22 around, and you're saying about honing your skills. Like, it's got a T sight in there, and so when you get out to sort of 50 meters or so, you're kind of really having to range properly and think about your holdover and stuff like that, which is quite good for me because I've got a crap sight on my rifle too, and it's kind of just holdover based on where you think that distance is on an animal, and so it's good practice again. You're either missing or you're hitting.
We do a lot of bone broths as well, which is great. I'm a qualified chef. Well, I cooked for 10 years. The last 2 years was in Switzerland, and Liv is obsessed with cooking. But geez, it's just the broths, the marrow, the whole family, even the kids, they see a bit of marrow. It's almost like a fight. The marrow is like the crackling, it's just everyone wants the marrow, which is bizarre. It's bizarre because I really try not to enforce my beliefs too much. The family is adapted it, because if it was just me, I'd be living just about in solitude, in the middle of nowhere, where you'd have to walk for days to get out. So they've kind of harnessed this idea of, okay, let's just eat wild meat, keep Dad happy. He sort of he'll get sick of it, but they're just into it.
See the value in it. It's funny you say about marrow. Like, I remember as a kid, like obviously lamb chops and lamb shanks, sucking out the marrow out of them, and like now I absolutely love it. I'll often buy lamb shank from the supermarket, and mostly for the marrow. Yeah, and like even chicken femurs, I used to like crunch the ends and like crunch up and eat all the marrow out of the chicken bone. And I remember my parents being like, "What are you doing, Ryan?" Like you'll choke on one of those small splinter bones. But I used to love marrow, and it's funny now. What am I? 31. I think. Yeah, that's right.
Still a pup.
Yeah, still a pup. But come back around and it's like broth and marrow. I still love it, and it's like, man. Yeah. It's so. There's so much nutrition in there.
It's the goods, man, and the body thanks you for it.
Oh, yeah.
When you cut out all the rubbish that it's just madness, even when you buy a loaf of bread and then a week later it's still fresh. It's like, what the hell? Why is it still fresh? But your body, I'm just amping on it. It's incredible.
Yeah. So talk me through chefing in Switzerland.
When I was young, I thought, I'm going to move out. What's the best way to feed myself and get laid? Pretty much. And cooking was it. Yeah, sorry, love, if you're listening. And I was also obsessed with skiing. Yeah. Obsessed with snow. So I was just traveling the world chasing snow. Yeah. Cooking, really got into cooking. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But there's just so much drinking and the drugs that are involved with that sort of industry, and you finish at 1 in the morning. You're still, it was a great service, you're still on a bit of a height from the amazing service. Then you're just going out, you're just drinking, and after a while it's just got tiresome. And then moved to Switzerland for 2 years to think it's time to either ramp it up or walk away from it. And Switzerland was amazing, and they just work you like an absolute dog. And just like that Gordon Ramsay on TV, it's way worse than that. Yeah, you'll work morning and night. They'll just be screaming at you the whole time, and after service you're sort of shaking like, holy shit. And then the chef will say, okay, that was a great service, well done. It's like, oh, you just put me through hell for no reason. Yeah, so it's just not the way you get the goods out of people. You just don't treat people. So I came back to New Zealand, thought I can't do that anymore. That's probably where definitely where the love of the food has come from. Yeah, I've just always been bush obsessed, always been hunting. And I just surround myself with hunting. Yeah, and adapt it in any way I can. When I'm working, when I'm driving, whenever I'm listening to a podcast, I'm thinking about hunting, I'm thinking about gear, I'm thinking about fitness, better myself, mental strength, toughness. It's just, yeah. My poor wife, she's just, I try not to talk about it. It's so hard.
Yeah. No. So like you mentioned Gordon Ramsay. Like for me growing up, there's like Gordon Ramsay. That I don't know his name, the French fellow that mentored Gordon Ramsay and basically made him the cycle.
With it, yeah.
And then on the flip side, there's like River Cottage and Jamie Oliver. Just going back real to the earthiness and the essence of food and things like that. Yeah. What was sort of chef influences for you? Like you said you thought it was Rockstar and you could travel the world and be a hit with the ladies. Like where'd you get that idea from?
Just being a horny teenager, probably. What else is there?
But like, who was the person that said like, yeah, being a chef is that'll get me?
No one.
No,
it was just geez, when I move out, this is going to be scary because Mum's not going to be cooking my meals anymore.
Yeah.
So I can't even remember why I went to...
Why you went to chefing?
Yeah, which was based here in Wellington, it still might be.
Yeah.
Um,
So did you have some cooking, chefing skills, or did you do some courses, or?
no, you start, like everyone, you start washing pots. And
Yeah.
you get sort of involved in the industry, and then you look at the next person that's doing the next level and the next level and the next level, and you look at the chef and you think, wow, one day I want to be like that chef. But when it's funny, because when you are at the top, not saying I was at the top, but when I was sort of running kitchens and some real good ones in Wellington, the stress is so high. You're calling out the meals, you're trying to bring everything together when the food is peaking, and then at that time I'm looking at the people washing dishes going, holy shit, I wish I was doing his job. He's just none of the stress, you know.
Yeah.
It's funny, eh? That's the way the world works, the yin and yang, the balance.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think the I suppose it adds to the whole thing is like achieving that stress, but achieving despite the stress. Do you think that is kind of the type 2 fun that you get in training, the type 2 fun that you get in working hard, the type 2 fun that you get in hunting, is kind of taps that in without, the person involvement, maybe? Like,
Oh no, I got it from martial arts. I was always, as a kid, I was always absolutely obsessed with fitness and sports, and it's quite funny when my daughters come home and say, oh god, it's cross country tomorrow, can you write me a note? But I was that kid like, yes, it's cross country tomorrow.
Too,
it's funny, it's real bizarre. So I did spend a lot of time with martial arts when I was a kid, which was good and bad because I was obsessed also with rugby league. But you can only really choose one or the other, and you sort of talk about it with the rugby, and then you're swimming, and you sort of dabbled on your water polo. So I went full noise on that, obsessed, absolutely obsessed, and I think that formed a foundation of discipline. But more so just the mental strength. Yeah, definitely. That's definitely.
So obviously you didn't you grew up around here, Wellington?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when Paul Wood was on, he said that in the 90s in martial arts there was some sketchy shit going on.
Oh yeah, man. Holy shit.
And that was Wellington as well.
What they were doing, you could not do now. No way.
Yeah,
you'd be arrested. My first, I remember walking into the dojo the first time, and I remember I didn't have a uniform on, and the instructor got out I think it was a cane stick, and this is within 10 minutes of being there, and she told me, right, this is how you stand there, and then he just started beating me with a stick. I really given it a good couple of whacks. And that was back in the days when you were getting strapped and caned at school as well, so it was kind of like that. And I thought, holy shit, this is out there, out the gate. And then she just kept doing it, and she said something like, why do you think I'm doing this? And I can't remember what my answer was, but her answer was, you'll best learn to block when you get sick of being hit. And that was it. And that was so weird, man, because back then it was borderline cultish as well. My first girlfriend, they didn't like it. I was always tournaments after tournaments after tournaments. I loved tournaments. What
was the martial art you did?
I don't really want to say now because now it sounds like I'm bagging it. I did a couple of them. So I got a girlfriend. I felt like I almost had two parents. I always had to report what I was up to them as well.
They
didn't like it at all. They asked me to leave, tell her to leave. And then they had it's sounding more and more like a cult now. They wanted me to leave home and actually live in the dojo with their sensei, because I was doing it 6 days week, I think it was, and I was doing a couple of classes and stuff like that, and that's when I thought, man, this is just something's off here. Yeah.
How big was the group in the dojo?
There's only a couple of them living there. Some of the obsessed ones. Yeah, this is.
Do you know what the outcome was? Like, what were you guys trying to achieve? Like, why would you, basically give up your family and your relationships and go live in a martial art dojo? What would be the outcome of that? What would you achieve in the end?
I know it sounds really, really, really weird, but I kind of get it a little bit now because it's almost like breaking point, trying to find that breaking point of how far you can go and how hard you can push. And I guess they were trying to control that.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it. I really loved it. And we're only touching on the bad points now. But, yeah, I mean, the black belt grading is just, you walk through 20, 30 odd other black belts either side, and it's just full on punches in the face and everywhere, and then you're down and you've got to get through the gauntlet. Yeah. And there's 3 days of that to get your black belt. So you can't do that shit anymore. No.
So, was there aims of Olympics or world contests or?
No, never. No, it was all. It was weird. I was never doing it to strive almost gratification from others or have a certificate of a medal, which is weird. I'm pretty sure it sounds better if I keep to that story. Yeah. But no, because it was full on contact. Maybe now it could be. I mean, you'd go to the octagon. Yeah, definitely. It was almost like it was a little bit too early. Yeah. But it's quite amazing. It's amazing when you're so used to being hit, and the fear is taken away. Yeah. And that's almost the same as a knife edge spur. Yeah. In a way, when that fear is taken away. Yeah, I don't know. Never put that analogy to it before.
No, but so do you think the martial arts you learnt are very applicable to a real life fighting situation? Do you feel confident that you've got skills to defend yourself and anyone?
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. More the mindset. So if this is so weird talking about it, man. I'm sure we were supposed to be talking about something else, but I have this mindset that if my family is here, you come in and just say you're stabbing me, the ability to switch, and it would be sweet as long as I know you're on your way out, then I can sort out what injuries I've got or if I'm going to die. So yeah, it was a bit of a cult, wasn't it? Yeah. It doesn't sound good.
No, it's good because I've done stupidly a little bit of boxing, and the first one was completely unprepared, and I couldn't believe how intense your sympathetic nervous system is. I reckon if you put your finger to your thumb and looked through it, that was my field of view. Yeah. And then the next time I did it, we did 2 months training, and the first round I could at least see my opponent's full head and body, and I think he must have been in that state because I was jabbing the shit out of him, and he was just flailing. Yeah. And then by the third round I could start hearing my corner, so it had expanded.
So it was widening.
Yeah, expanded my experience and was calming down and things like that. But when that's why fight sports and things really fascinate me, because I'm really into the autonomic nervous system and how it reacts, and at work, especially with kids that are having trouble reading and things, I always see it straight away that they're either completely exhausted and they just can't tune into that creative mind that relaxed mind, or else they're just so hyped up
Yeah.
that, again, they're like too scared, too fearful. Like, why would they go into a space that's close to them and tune the world out?
Yeah.
And like, so to do a sport that completely trains that system of being fighting but in a controlled way, what's that, like karate thing, like flow like water, basically?
Yeah. I did a bit of boxing as well.
Yeah.
I was useless at it because I was always blocking with my face because I didn't give a shit about getting hit.
Yeah.
So and it was because I love using elbows and stuff, and legs and grappling. So it was quite weird going into the ring, being this old guy that would jump in the ring, and I could never go to training and not jump in the ring.
Yeah.
So it'd always be the old guy that wasn't trained up on boxing, that always blocked with his face and would smile at you while you were getting hit, and then you know,
I think
wait my turn.
I think for me, like, my dad and my granddad both went to Catholic primary schools and high schools, and so of course they did boxing, and like my grandpa was always, you know, he can box both ways because he's kind of ambidextrous and stuff, and so he just always like square up on me and be like, watch my no, he wouldn't never hit me, but he'd just be like, watch my eyes. He's like, that's how you know I'm gonna hit you. Yeah. And so like, I guess that was sort of subliminal in the back of my mind, like, oh, I wonder what that's actually like to really face up to someone. And like, you know, I've never been in a you know, school fight or street fight or anything like that. And
that's good.
Like even working security at the Cook, it was like always just tried to like make it calm, and there was one night where unfortunately it was some guys from our bouncer team that got started into a bit of a ruckus, but that was sort of, you know, it was over before it started type stuff. And like, man, I don't know what I'd do. So it's always kind of interesting to understand the mindset and what it's like to train it, I guess.
It's insane to have complete calmness with chaos. Is that what you're
saying? Yeah, that's exactly it, man. Yeah.
Where you can, you've got time to calculate as if everything's in slow motion, and you've just got time. It's incredible when you square up against someone that can fight and can't fight. I definitely don't want to be any street balls or anything either. But it's hard to evaluate things now, particularly with all the crack and everything that's around. You know, you hear a noise in the house, and I'm going to say poor burglar, which sounds weird, but imagine just some poor burglar that is just trying to break in, but instantly in my head it's like, oh well, could be on crack, could have a knife. He's going down. So it's
no, it's there's some scary, you know, and that was what was quite interesting talking to Paul Wood. You know, it's talking to him about him growing up in Wellington, and you don't really think about that side of New Zealand, how it's there, but you know, it's there, and then now you're starting to see it in odd occasions show up in the media and show up in people that you know. And I guess that's part of getting older, is you know more people that might end up associating with that, and so it's weird. You almost wonder, oh, should I prepare a bit more for this?
I wonder if it's going in reverse a little bit. Hang on. Sorry. Where they almost the next generation seem to be tapering off a little bit. They don't seem to be getting as drunk as, well, I don't know, it just seems to be not such a priority to get absolutely annihilated.
It's good. Yeah.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny. So one of the questions that a regular listener of the podcast sort of put through is he wanted to know what is, you know, classical rural term, what's behind your drive chain? Because he sees you get up that hill, and then, you know, obviously you guys down there on the west coast attacking it and loving it, and hindsight's good when you're on the hill. You love it afterwards. What drives you up there? Like Andre Alopati's was who's in control of your machine. What's your one?
Suffering. Yeah. I love suffering. I only because I know what it does on the other end of it. So if I'm training, there's just no excuses for. You can't say there's no time. You just get up earlier. You can't say I'm not happy with my fitness or whatever. You just do it. You can't say I'm too old. Maybe you've lost. It's harder. Maybe when you get old and you've lost conditioning, you've lost that basic conditioning. But once you've got it and you maintain it, that's no excuse. But with suffering, I'm forever trying to push myself as hard and as fast as I can. Even to the point where if it's absolutely bucketing down, that's good. If it's ridiculously hot, 12 o'clock, that's good. If for whatever reason, the worst case scenario to do it is when I want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if maybe I've done it so long that I've convinced myself to do it. I'm always in battle with myself. So if I hate doing something, I'll do it ridiculous amount of times. If I moan to myself, so if I go, I walk up a hill and I go, oh, geez, that was hard. And then I know as soon as I've said it, I'm going to make myself do it 3 or 4 times, or I'm going to do it, whatever, push-ups or pull-ups. I wasn't that keen on pull-ups. No one really is. And I thought, well, the only way to get used to it is to times it by 3. If I still moan to myself, I'm going to times it by 5. If I still moan to myself, I've still got that doubt in my head. The doubt is going to be going, you better shut up, because he's going to do another, whatever it is. So suffering is everything. And if you don't push yourself to the edge, you just take everything for granted. So that's definitely my chain. I need to be cold. I need to be miserable. I need to be tired. I need to be sore. Man, if I haven't got a sore muscle in my body, I'm almost gutted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird.
Love Tom's, eh?
Yeah, that was a long-winded answer.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
And what I reckon as well is, have you ever blown out before?
As in complete collapse?
Yeah, or like...
Yeah, man, I love it.
Yeah.
It's
the greatest thing I've ever done.
Oh, yeah?
I've done it twice.
Awesome.
It's like, it's stupid, but at the same time, it's the greatest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. yeah. So my problem is my mind is stronger than probably my body. So I was carrying a couple of years ago. It was a long carry. I think I was walking. It was something like 14 hours or something, but 6 of those hours was with a deer on my back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why. I was breaking it. I should have broke it up on a couple of days. But I just wanted to have that sense of just complete blowout.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 1 hour away from the car. One of my legs went, and sort of sat down.
But injured, or just no energy to it, or what?
No, I always seem to get energy from somewhere. No, it just blew out. I ripped something in my leg.
Right.
And then I thought, well, I'm close. So that hour's now going to be 2 hours. So I got up finally, started hobbling, started loosening up a little bit, and then an hour later my other leg went. So then I was probably another hour, because I've done half that distance. So then it was, that last hour was probably another 3 hours, and the whole time I was just walking out. It looked like I'd probably shit myself. But got there, and at first I was absolutely like, man, I've got to train harder. Why is my legs? And then I just thought, that's awesome. You did it. It's just, yeah. Now you can do that distance with that amount of training, and you'll be sweet.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's, like, I've told the story heaps with the swimming thing, and, like, you know, people probably think that I think, you know, I miss swimming or something, but I don't miss swimming at all. I miss water polo, but yeah.
That's brutal, eh?
I was watching some when I was out with my daughter the other week. Of course, with no sport really being played, Sky just showing heaps of old sports footage, and there was Russia versus Bulgaria semi-final from the Athens Olympics on, and me and my daughter sat down and watched it. That was partly I was trying to brainwash her. Like,
because you wanted to watch it.
yeah, I was like, see this game here, darling? This is the shit. See, they're women playing out there. Like, it is brutal.
Well, it was mixed. I didn't go to university.
Yeah.
And was asked to join the university team for some reason, and it was a mixed. Oh, the woman with the nails under the water, just unbelievable.
Yeah, being in Chicago, we didn't have too many teams to play against, so we just used to play mixed all the time.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and the girls would like crush your nuts or kick you in the nuts or scratch you all down your back. And
at first, I must think, oh, what is this pussy sport? How dare you ask me to put a cap on and jump in and drink water.
Protect your ears.
Yeah.
What do you need to protect your ears from?
And after that first time, I was like, holy shit. I'd rather go in the ring.
It's one of the worst thing about it is like you'll start the season off, or you'll like at uni, you wouldn't play, and then you'd go play a pickup game, and in Auckland there'd be heaps of ex-New Zealand guys around with all the tricks, and you'd just be dying trying to even hold your head above water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but and it's the same thing. Like, how good you can get, like getting up to your waist out of the water and being able to hold up in the air and just like fake a shot and then put it where you want it. Like, to go back to being drowning again is embarrassing.
It's quite good as a leveler too when you come from one sport that you're kind of doing pretty good at.
Yeah.
And then you think you're the shit, You get chucked into another sport, and it's a leveler. It's like yeah.
No, that's what like I think for me it's quite good with hunting. Like, I've probably done it the wrong way in trying to teach myself, but I kind of apply that if I keep working at this hard enough, then I'll get there in the end.
Yeah, well, you're getting the right people around you, aren't you?
Yeah, trying to, yeah. And like, 10 years on, start reading some books like the basic one. Read Deer in New Zealand. If anyone's starting out hunting, read that book.
Yeah, my hunting style is definitely a little bit different than others, but like on Dave's podcast, I never thought it was until
he just put it back to you.
No, just until I started. It all seems so normal to me, and it is, but just a sort of 2-3 weeks by yourself, not staying in a hut, and just going as deep as possible. No chopper, it's just that just seems so normal. So when I wanted to actually start almost a international forum of swap hunts some years ago, or maybe 2 years ago, and until I clicked that, holy shit, you actually swap hunts with people overseas. They come here, it's pretty easy for them to die. They're not even used to really backpack hunting, let alone getting chucked into the Alps. Yeah. So I sort of quit that idea, and going with someone, that's the key for sure in those environments. Yeah.
So like, we hear about the sheep hunt, and that it's the hardest ever, and obviously they got to deal with a bit more altitude than us. But did you get much insight into how that would differ from? I guess the time might be the factor, eh? Like,
it's pretty hard to make comment on something we haven't done, but I must admit too, when I look at the films, pretty amazing. The elk hunting, all that, it looks incredible. But on first glance, it looks a lot easier. Just the openness of the terrain and stuff like that. I mean, it's different if you've got a bow in your hand, for sure. And the weather seemed a lot more settled too. Yeah.
Your bigger landmass, eh?
Yeah, but geez, I shouldn't. Yeah, almost a buggy putting me on the spot there, making a comment for something I haven't really done. But Fiordland, that's a whole new total kettle of fish, and you do see a lot of the big guys doing hunting, and like Remy seems like he's just insanely amazing, so dialed in with everything he does. He's hunted all around the world, but I haven't seen him do any videoing in Fiordland. Yeah.
So on in Call of the Wapiti, Ray Tinsley talks about how he nearly just falls down a face, like he's like tracking in the middle of the night, and then he nearly falls down, and he like hunkers down, basically gets hypothermia, and wakes up in the morning and see where he is, and he's like just sitting above like a 20-meter cliff.
Yeah.
Like you say, you know, guys come over here, you could die.
Yeah.
Is that basically the story? And then he talks about like flash flooding and as well. Like,
oh, it's incredible. Yeah, you really can watch. It's like the bath. You just turn the tap on and the bath is filling up. It's amazing. It's so much water, but the sides are so steep that rain turns into, Fiordland rain turns into a shower, which is normal rain.
Yeah.
That river goes down just as quick.
Right.
So a lot of people get that get home-itis, I guess, where that panic that you've got to get across. But yeah, the trees, so you can go down there and I'm trying to make it sound like I've done about sort of 9 or 10 trips only down there, but they're normally quite sort of long. But the trees seem to grow in unison with the shape of a spur that you think is doable. So you can have a lot of, you think, yep, okay, that spur there looks good, and if you haven't done your homework, there's generally only a couple of entry and exits within, and you've got to do your research. You've got to know. But you can come down a spur that looks pretty good, but it'll just be hell bluffed out.
Yeah.
But the trees are growing it and such because of the sunlight.
Yeah.
So some trees will be a lot bigger on faces of bluffs if they're not visible.
Yeah.
Because they're stretching for that sunlight. So yeah, it's the whole mental thing where you come down, you might be absolutely exhausted, you bluffed out, you've got to go back up, start again, bluffed out, back up. Yeah, so that's where the mistakes are made when you're tired, and especially when that valley floor is right there and
Yeah. On that Red Deer in New Zealand, he talks about following the game trail even when you think that you might see a better route. Is that the same for Fiordland?
Stick to the Wapiti trails, yeah.
They know
you've got
where to
to
go.
Yeah, if you I've done that a couple of times where you think it goes one way and you think, I'll just go this way. This way looks easier. And it is maybe for 10 minutes, and then it's just hell on earth. Yeah. But it's amazing. They're huge animals, big trails, but then sometimes those trails just vanish out of thin air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just push through a bush, or they just must stop and turn around, or...
Yeah, they must do. Maybe they make mistakes as well, because there's been a few times where I'm following amazing WAP trails, and it just stops. And
what have you done? Turn around, or?
Yeah, one time we was, I think we walked 5 or 6 hours, and we got 200 or 300 meters trying to get through a gorge, and that was exactly on a perfect trail. Yep, this is it. And then it stopped. I carried on and put us through. I loved it. He hated it. This poor guy. Yeah.
And was he a mate or someone you?
Yeah.
Guiding
Well, Yep. He was. I think it was his first time in Fiordland. I think. But yeah, he hasn't spoken to me much after that trip.
Broken.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. They. Well, I didn't break him because he walked out by himself. There's been a couple of poor buggers that have called the chopper. But yeah, I remember that trip because I was always, once we got through the rubbish, I'd generally be just within, it got dark, I was sort of in 50 odd metres in front of him because he was just swearing hard out at me. But it was just his release. It was just his way of dealing with it at the time.
Yeah.
And
so, like, I've only ever watched film of Fiordland and read Call of the Wapiti. Is it always on, or it's trying to find a spot to do some hunting?
You're talking about, is it always
Like
hell on earth, or
like are you no matter where you are, whether you're in the hell or you're on a clearing or you're in open bush, are you always thinking that there's a chance that there's going to be that big bull there at any spot?
I really depending on the time. So if you're going for a ballot, so if people don't know you, there's when I started back in the mid '90s, when the wapheads back then were absolute rubbish. We thought they were pretty good, but they were rubbish compared to now. Now they're just insane, amazing. So the Wapiti Foundation did an incredible job working up the genetics without even introducing any other animals, which is incredible. I don't know how they did it. But so there's first period, second period, third period. When I hunt, I love to utilise other people's scent. So if I don't get a ballot, afterwards it's amazing because you've got 30 days of other people being in there hunting the same places, generally the same routes, and it pushes them into pockets. So so if that's the case, if I go in afterwards, then it will be normally a sort of 3 or 4 day walk before I start properly hunting into these pockets.
And so you think that's where they've been pushed up into?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Yep, definitely. I can I do that in the Tararuas. I do it most places now. It just sort of clicked on. I love tracks. I love other people's scent. And there's just a couple of things where I just started seeing them and taking notes, circling things. Things started popping out of similarity, and seems to work for me. But yeah, with Fiordland, so with you in the key blocks in the wilderness zone, you can't land on the tops. It's at pretty much high tide, and then you just got to walk. Yeah, which is great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I definitely will be putting my name down.
Yeah, well, like I said, just afterwards it's just as amazing, if not better. There'll be snow, it'll be colder maybe, but that could happen on the first period as well. Yeah, the only thing is the meat recovery. They are really the size of a horse, and particularly even if there's just two of you, you can't carry the meat out. So it's almost against everything, all my beliefs of carrying the meat out. So you generally go down there. After a while, you do get very selective because you are pulling the trigger on an animal that you can't get the meat out. Some blocks you can fly to the tops, and there could be a good bull anywhere. Yeah, then you can probably get the meat out, but they're just massive. There's a couple of pictures of a couple of them on my Insta. There was one that is quite bad quality. It's a real nice 10 that this guy Richie shot. This little Maro fella. He's strong as hell, and he was lying next to this wop, and I just remember saying, Richie, it looks like we're faking this, like you're miles away. You have to put your elbow on it or something. So on the photo, he's got his elbow on it just to show that it's not like that fishing photo where you got the fish pushed out in front of you.
Yeah,
just huge, massive things.
We even seen the odd occasion with the trophy head of a red. The guy's sort of sitting in behind the shape of the antlers, and you're like, how close are they?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. But can you just put your hand between the coronets and like show us that you were right there? But it's funny, the photographing after is what sort of maybe gets hunters in trouble a little bit, like because us as hunters know exactly that moment. Yeah,
we get it, because we've gone through to get the end result. We all do it differently. With me, you'll never see me generally holding my rifle with the animal, but that's just my thing. And I never, if someone's holding their rifle next to the animal, that's fine. But I don't know why. Just for me, I just don't want that rifle next to the animal, just because it's almost a sense of conquered it as opposed to respect. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, that's just my thing.
Yeah, I'm sort of the opposite. I think I'm trying to convey the tool, I guess.
Yeah.
Is where
That makes sense.
Like I see where you come from as well, and I think with the bow as well, if that ever comes to fruition, I think
Oh man, the bow's got to be in the shot because it's yeah.
it's a weird one. I don't know what it is about the bow that's motivating me. Like I haven't, my I say to many people, like my gear list, my bucket list, and thing is so bloody long when it comes to hunting.
Yeah.
And then for some reason, I want to go in and do it with the bow, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I brought a bow as well because I thought this is going to be awesome. Seems pretty legit. Plus, you can practice at home, which is great.
It's a good bit.
Yeah. And then a couple of things put me off. I might go back to it. One was a video I saw of it was just a bow hunter that shot a bobcat,
Right.
and this thing was just screaming and trying to rip the arrow out of itself.
Oof.
While the hunters were still high-fiving each other because they knew it was, but it just
Yeah, it's not.
I
nice.
hated it.
Yeah.
And I sold my bow probably 2 weeks after that, but just because of that video,
Yeah.
which is crazy because you get rifle hunters just doing some crazy shit as well,
Yeah.
Maybe another thing that's put me off a little bit is with bow hunting is just, it's incredible, and definitely it's no doubt way harder than rifle hunting, but I don't accept it when people say I don't rifle hunt anymore because it's too easy, so I bow hunt. But then does that mean that you can then grab your bow and jump in a helicopter and fly to an area? Does that make it harder than someone with a rifle that's walked there for a couple of days?
Yeah.
Or is that it's and to say that it's definitely harder. I keep saying it's harder, but for someone to say I don't do that anymore, I do this, that's pretty much saying I've got this
Moral high ground.
I've got 100%.
Yeah.
I've just absolutely nailed that, and it does nothing for me anymore. But then when it comes into seasons, geez, if I was in America or something, definitely,
Yeah.
man, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said it correctly.
I think I get what you mean. Like, there's no need to belittle someone else's adventure because you've found and you've justified to yourself a new way of doing things. Like, that doesn't mean that just because that's how you feel doesn't mean that what I'm doing is wrong. And it's kind of like, I'm happy for you, but
Yeah,
yeah.
Let me put it in another way, and I hope I'm not getting any enemies here, but I love tank diving,
Yeah.
and I love free diving.
Yeah.
A tank diver will celebrate a free diver and go, mate, that's awesome.
Mm.
And the free diver go, oh yeah, thanks. When I was free diving, and then the free diver would generally, they'd almost look down on the bubblers.
Yeah, bubblers.
As if, it's like, so the bubblers would celebrate the spear fisherman,
Yeah.
and then quite often the spear fisherman wouldn't celebrate the bubblers.
Yeah.
And I see that slipping in a little bit with the bow hunters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so everyone that's into, like, people like Remy is amazing because he loves both.
Yeah.
It's incredible. And then people that have grown up with just bow hunting, that's incredible. Why would you want? You just wouldn't pick up a rifle because that's what you do and that's your thing. Yeah.
I guess the other thing, like, in we're seeing it come to fruition a lot. It's like, and that's what I spoke about with Robbie Kruger. Is like, man, if there's only 5% of us, let's not split it down to 2% and 3%.
Yeah.
Like, we're all hunters, and we're all, not all, but generally we have the same respect for what we're doing, and so the tool was just a way of doing it. The purpose and the outcome and how we, strive and what drives us is all pretty similar.
Yeah. And then when you do see the people that have been hunting for a long, long time and then slide into the bow hunting with social media, that then new people come in and see, man, that looks incredible, and they jump into that straight away, maybe a little bit too early.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you jumped into your bow hunting pretty quick, but now you're saying you're shooting also rabbits with 22.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Well, I just know for me that I've got so much to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not even really thinking about going big game hunting with a bow, because I also know that in terms of big game hunting, I need to do a lot, because I love my rifle as well. It took ages to get it, and I want to get more rifles, different rifles. I don't really think I've got the best rifle for the North Island, but I'd love to.
It's yours.
Yeah,
it's your baby.
It's my baby, and I'd love to go. Do what I intended to buy it for, and that was going to the South Island, going back to Wanaka, going back to Hawea, going hunting tar.
Yeah.
Do what it was made for, and why I bought that one.
Yeah.
7mm Remax, but long and big, probably for the seeker, but it still does the trick. Thankfully.
Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah.
I actually met I bumped into Aussie guy in Fiordland, and they were both bow hunters, and they were talking about the water buffalo. And I went, whoa, that's insane! You shoot water buffalo with a bow, and he said, man, it's more insane shooting with a rifle. But as soon as they hear that crack, they are just, the adrenaline is just time to kill, and they're looking for where that's come from.
Oh, shit.
So you can just, if you're in the right area, you can slide an arrow right into the right spot, and it's sort of like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And then they just walk off and die.
Expire, yeah.
So, and that was complete reverse. He's like, man, I wouldn't shoot those things with a rifle. You'll get gored.
No, they're pretty bloody scary, but awesome.
Yeah.
So another question from someone that listens to the show, they sort of want to know, and this wasn't specifically for you, but you've done it. They a bit like me telling you about the Blue River, how we looked at those spurs, or they're just fingers really coming down, and it's like, when you get up there, or when you're climbing up a spur, how do you, what's your inner voice like to keep going and keep climbing, and even when you're talking about with Dave the waterfall, like what deep inside you goes, oh, I've got this,
By doing, by pushing through and opening the next door.
Yeah,
that's really to not really it. As much as we try not to think about, especially go back to Fiordland again, the amount of people that actually see out there 10 days or is actually bugger all, and then they'll come out and there'll be all the excuses under the sun why they didn't see it out there 10 days. You've just got to push through it. So when a good scenario would be to bush yourself on purpose for one night, and to be freezing cold with your mate and get through it. So then that getting back, because it's generally just that fear of being lost, isn't it, in this place. And when I'm a hunts instructor as well, so I taught for 6 years the Kapiti Deerstalkers, and generally when your fear of being lost, if you're misplaced and you're looking at a map, you're normally only one square away from where you think you are at max. Yeah. So even that thought is, and using handrails, as soon as you start identifying handrails like spurs, creeks, compass is massive. I love using my compass. Very little people seem to use compasses these days. Yeah,
I've got one, and first time I went to Macintosh, there was a South African guy who obviously his father was in the military in South Africa, and so he had a bit of understanding, and we did spend some time with the map and with the compass.
Yeah.
And that day, that was like the best day and since going back to that area because of getting that mental imprint in my head from the compass and the map, I have a really great time in that area. And so, like,
you still remember it?
Yeah, still remember
that's
it. And
great.
Like the that's why it's called orienteering, isn't it? The orientation of it just makes so much of a difference. Now, obviously, it's different bush to the jungle or the Kaimais or where I went between Cambridge and Matamata, but yeah, it's funny you say that you're just that one square away, and being geographically challenged in those areas, I think, gave me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
And then when I went to Kaimais and Labour Weekend, I didn't have the map, I just had my GPS, but I barely looked at it and just sort of had the mental imprint of the contours and stuff from studying the map and thinking about direction and sun and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's a valuable way.
Yeah, the awareness does. You definitely get better and better at it.
Helps when you get a major landmark though, like a creek, and that sort of stuff makes a big difference.
Yeah, but even with a compass, you can we can be just if we're hunting, just even the turns and corners of the creeks.
Yeah,
you can identify where you are with the compass and a map, even if it's complete whiteout.
Yeah,
just by the direction of the creek and those sort of tail ends.
I was laughing you were saying about lasting the 10 days, that podcast I was telling you about with Aaron Snyder from Kafaru. That's one of the things he says, is that the amount of people that come to me and go, oh, I'm going solo for 14 days.
Oh, yeah, is that right?
He just laughs. He's like, oh, yeah, that's how much you've been allocated. I'll see you in 3.
Yeah, man, it doesn't matter if you don't, if you think, holy shit, because I don't carry a mountain radio anymore, but I used to, and you could hear other people talking. Yeah, so Jesus, just get me out of here. Yeah. Well, one trip I remember these poor buggers, where it was one of my best trips, and it was 2 weeks by myself, and I had half a day of semi-clear weather. The other time it was just pissing down. It was nothing to do with hunting. It was just all survival. And it was amazing. And I remember these poor buggers down in the Edith, the river was that high, that flooded, that they had to sleep in the trees for a few days. And I only knew that's because of the mountain radio.
Yeah.
And so they'd constructed poles, river came up, flooded everything out, and you could just hear them on the mountain radio the whole time. And whenever check-in was, just from Edith, I guess no choppers coming tomorrow, but we're still up in the trees. And poor buggers. And last year I actually had, because I love the Edith, and flew in that side, and one of the main reasons, because I normally walk through some other blocks to get there, but I actually wanted to see where they were. Yeah, you can still see it. You can still see
the waterline.
No, you can still see where they put the poles.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I hope they named it. Like that's the sort of thing that should be named.
Man, yeah, that was madness. It's incredible. Never seen so much water before, and there was so much water that time that if there's an area called the Glazenock, well, I walked out of the Glazenock, there is one hut there. Mm-hmm.
Which has been done up, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lake was right up to the long drop door. So if anyone's listening to this and they know the Glazenock, they've been there, that's a lot of water. Yeah. That's a hell of a tub to fill.
Yeah, there's a story like that in Call of the Wapiti, eh?
Is it?
I think there might even be Glazenock, that hut that they're talking about. Yeah, that's a hell of a book. Yeah, I've got to...
Oh, I haven't read it for decades.
Yeah.
I've still got it at home. I'm going to dig it out now.
I laughed, like Ray Tinsley growing up Tararua. Man, he was a shocker in his young years.
Yeah.
Poaching and...
Yeah.
You know, running up to Rohini's and Kawakas. No, champion.
When you go to the Glazenock rock movie, it's not a flash rock movie. Mm-hmm. There's 3 you can squeeze 4 in there. There's only one bed that doesn't leak, and if you get there first, my name Amor is right above the bed that doesn't leak.
Yeah.
But you walk in there and to see all these just epic names of, like they said, Tinsley or Amor, and just all these names carved into this rock. So wow, that's incredible. The history, and then it's just mind blowing. It's incredible.
Yeah, I need to ask my grandma whether we're I've bloody forgotten his name now. No, scrap that story.
Edit.
Yeah. No, no need to edit. Man, so obviously we've been talking about doing this podcast for ages, and it's been waiting for your current passion and dream to come. To
we
fruition.
probably should have started with that, because everyone would have tuned out maybe now with me talking about my rubbish.
The intro will make sure that they're here, because this is the bit, the meat and potatoes, so to speak. Tell us about, I don't know, you've written down some notes about this. What would you like to get across? Because I know the end result, but like hunting, it's going to be about the journey of this thing. It's going to be bloody awesome.
Yeah, you're talking about in the Tararuas.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah, I started up this thing called the Tararua Wild Foundation. In the logo, I've got a picture of a stag, which was really important to me, because that really symbolises the hunter, and the hunting community, and playing our part in conservation. And it all came about with me wanting to reintroduce blue ducks and kiwis back into the Tararuas.
What drives that, man?
It actually all started from, as in what drives it or what started it?
Yeah, both. Yeah.
I was on a what kicked it off, I always wanted to do something like this, and then as a kid I was in the Tararuas. I grew up in the Tararuas, loved the Tararuas. I still love the Tararuas. Always looking for the pharaoh, for the blue duck. Never found one. So it was a disappointment of never finding one. So it was more like, God damn it, I'll put them there then. So that's what's really driving that. The kiwi was an offset on that, just because it's just everything's played out, everything's set up for the hunter in New Zealand by DOC, and I know that it's almost a swear word to say at the moment, but there are some amazing people in DOC, and a lot of them are hunters. Yeah, and man, they're just embarrassed by leadership. So the flow on was definitely getting the blue duck back into Tararuas. Couldn't find them, so I'll put them there. And these incredible DOC workers that are working side by side with me are also working on the Kiwi project on reintroduction back into the Wellington zone as well. So that was just an offset from that. And then why I kicked it off was there was a bit of a forum going on, which was great. And I always tell people my spots and where I hunt, because they're generally pretty hard to get to. And if people want to put in the time, they can go for it. I'll tell them wherever wops I've seen, big 12s, whatever. If they want to put in the time, that's sweet as. When we did the podcast with, I did the podcast with Dave, we were mentioning where we were and the peaks and stuff like that, because you want to go there, go for it. It's pretty hard knacker, but go for it. So I was on this forum, and it was a belleted area up north. I can't remember the area. And I was just buzzing because all the hunters were giving feedback, telling good areas, who had that block before, where they had success, try this. And it was just an openness of information, which is what I thrive off as well. Always just people willing to help people. Then there's this one guy that came on, which is, he's a sort of semi-self-made celebrity in the TV world. He always tries to get himself in TV. You're used to now. You don't see him much anymore. He got on there and just started bagging everybody out, saying, "You guys should shut up because you're ridiculous. Don't you know that Doc's watching this, and now they're just going to go in there and bomb it with 1080." And then I thought, Jesus, this is just bullshit. We were all buzzing. now we all feel terrible because of this one complete wannabe. I hated it, and then that's when it clicked. It's like blue ducks, Tararuas, pest control, dock, go get it.
Mm-hmm.
No excuses. So I'm doing it by. It came off the end of a Kaka corridor, which was a 10-year plan of 1080.
Mm-hmm.
So it's right at the end of that. And it's also the big 1080 flag as well. So my thing with the 1080, I'll sort of jumping in, but I'll come back to them. With 1080, no one really wants to talk about it. Everyone sort of sidesteps it a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and especially in the hunting community. And then people go, "Oh, I don't really want to talk about it." 1080, I want to talk about it.
Good.
It's
I was talking about it today with Francisco, the Italian bloke that just, speaking of donated $200 to it.
Yeah.
You know, in Italy, he's been here once or twice, I think.
Yeah.
Like, he's keen. He's, you know, doing heaps, and I was explaining to him, like, because I was talking about deer industry and, you know, how, and he was talking about like parasites and all that sort of stuff, the crossover between feral vectors and farming animals, and, you know, where do all these diseases come on farmland. I said, well, you know, beef and lamb and deer industry are involved with osprey, and that's how they try and control TB. You know, there's dog play a role in that as well. They tend to use trapping and cholecalciferol, which I laugh at because that's what people with osteoporosis take. And cyanide, you know, and saying then it's a 1080 and osprey and land care and all that sort of stuff, and it's just like, oh, that's fascinating. But I sit on both camps, because like I'm interested in farming and agriculture, and I don't want like that to be you know, get TB in our system. You just got to look at the UK and go, yeah, we don't want that. And then animals, it's like, well, you know, how else? You know, I want a better solution, but right now,
a mate of mine, Stefan Hope, he was on a podcast, Educated Hunter, and he said it incredibly well. He said, think about 1080 as chemo for cancer. No one wants to do chemo, but it's what you got to do until something else pops up.
Yeah.
So with the 1080, I thought, yeah, sure, I hate it as well. What can I do to make a difference?
Yeah.
So it's going to be 1,000 traps within this area, mainly Doc 200 traps, boots on the ground, easier to monitor with kills and everything, especially with Cam Speedy, who's coming on board as well. So it's going to be a great project. But with the 1080, you know, having, and I said this on Dave's as well, having an FU 1080 sticker on your car, I mean, are you putting it there because you think you're doing your part? And if you think you're doing your part, you're not doing jack shit. Or you're just putting that sticker there because it's got the word fuck on it, you know, and you think it's cool. Because really, if you're passionate about it, then turn that passion into doing instead of saying, you know.
I love your, and who did you say, Stefan's analogy of cancer?
Oh, it was brilliant.
Yeah, like, and if we're going to like use that analogy, then trapping and boots on the ground and these other sort of isolated poisoning mechanisms are kind of like the lifestyle interventions you do, the cryotherapy you do, the, you know, maybe it's going keto, maybe it's, you know, juicing or whatever way is being shown to sort of help and optimize, or like, you know, dosing it with vitamin C, whatever it is. Yeah, that's us on the ground. That's us clearing traps. That's us, you know, putting in pest-proof fences and stuff like that. That's the bit around the outside that we can optimize its effectiveness, and hopefully means that we don't need to use it anymore. But
yeah, definitely. I mean,
it's like a 30-year battle.
Yeah, well, see, and
we're still eating junk food.
Here's another analogy that my poor wife hears all the time. But so the protests of 1080, the banners, I mean, it's great. It shows awareness.
Yeah.
It's been happening for forever. But there's a lot of passion that's been misspent. So if I had a just say I had 100 people and we all wanted to protest for 1080. It's like, yeah, we're going to march to Parliament and we're going to take days off and we're going to do this and we're going to do a haka and rah, it's great, awesome. But I would love to stand in front of those people and say, that's amazing. Can I just suggest another way of just turning this passion into doing? Let's go into the bush. We're going to document it correctly. We're going to get 10 tails each. We're not going to be silly about it. We're not going to put all the possums into a big bag. We're just going to take the tails. We're going to then, once we've got that 1,000 possums, we're then going to knock on Doc's door and say, this is the 1,000 possums that we've taken out of this area. Here's the documentation. When do you want the next 1,000 possums? And all we ask is, can we just have a 10% reduction of 1080 in this area, or what sort of target are you hoping to get with a drop? And they might say 1,000 possums. That's incredible. We don't actually have to drop. Yeah. So instead of trying to ban something, why not help to try and reduce something? And then you're stalling more time until something else comes up.
Yeah, that's what disappoints me so much about Forest and Bird, and unfortunately in response Tar Foundation making all this litigation. It's kind of like we were all around the same table trying to get the outcome. Shit, we could have, used all of that money to achieve the outcome.
No, and absolutely.
Now we're spending it on Queen Street or Lambton Quay just so we can have a political ping pong for 6 months. It's like,
yeah, well, it's a stall tactic. The Tar Foundation had to do it because it's
a
stall
absolutely.
Tactic. But
and it's a shame because it's almost like they're pushed into the corner as well.
Yeah,
it appears that certain elements of Forest and Bird wanted to push the button to get their agenda or win something legally.
Yeah.
So then it's kind of like, well, you have to too. And now we've got the liaison group with two people sitting across the table that were getting along, or to a certain extent, now have a bit of bad blood between them, and then Doc's caught in the middle between the two of them.
Yeah.
So we've got three people at the table that are all in court. It's like, gosh.
Whatever situation, I'm always trying to find there's always a positive in every negative.
Yeah.
So the Tarmageddon part 2. Jeez, this is it's crazy.
Well, it's probably not the sequel. It's probably the trilogy now.
Oh no! Yeah, the Death Star. Instantly, I see positive straight away. So I tried not to get on there. I spent the first 3 days or so of almost trying to calm people down.
Yeah.
Because there was so many people watching us, and people coming in with conflict and negativity and swear words. When we all have that frustration, but when there's starting to be so many eyes on us, we have to definitely keep it. We have to be way more politically correct than Eugenie Sage, because she's just imploding. She's just doing. Everyone's like, they didn't even know about the tar, don't even hunt. Now they're looking at her and going, who is this turkey? And what the hell? Why are we putting up with her? So all the people that are sitting on the fence, that are the non-hunters, I reckon they're the way that, I'm so proud of the hunting community, the way they're conducting themselves. It's just, it's incredible. And if it wasn't for Tarmageddon Part 1, the hunting community wouldn't be as strong as we are now.
Yeah.
Now that it's Tarmageddon, the Death Star, we're even insanely stronger. Not only in New Zealand, Robbie, and just the world is just beaming, and they're just chipping in, and just it's incredible. People, non-hunters from overseas, are now donating to the Tar Foundation. So whatever agenda she had, because it sounds like she's just trying to slipstream her last little say for whatever a tar did to her at one stage.
Yeah. I'd love to know the nexus of that vendetta, but
I think her time is up. But I don't see it as save the tar. I see it as we're earning the right to hunt the tahr, and we're forcing change for management, and it's such an old... Doc have done a poor job of just continually trying to, keep the introduced species as a pest. Now with this explosion of what's going on, there's just so many eyes and so many non-hunters saying, "Wow, this is not good. This has got to change." And especially when all the hunters are saying, "I know this is what we want, and we'll do it for free." We'll chip in, we'll fund it.
Mate, speaking of silver linings and people thinking outside the box, and it's kind of along the same lines with you, like working together with Doc as a hunting community. Like we've been talking about people engaging with animal rights activists and vegan and stuff. Like man, people are thinking differently all of a sudden and trying to find some common ground. And
that's it, man. Where you can be
and get some respect across the board as well, across the table.
Yeah. This whole project really is about that middle ground thing. It's about not trying to change people's belief one way. They can think one way, I can think another way, but there is that common ground and there's that passion to get things done. So it's a model to just harness passion, get it done without killing anyone's beliefs. You don't have to be on one side or the other.
Yeah.
We had a talk about vegans before, and instead of being a normal hunter saying, "Oh, bloody vegans," I've got the utmost respect for the discipline that they live by for a world that doesn't cater for them. It's just incredible, especially in lockdown. I don't know how they did that. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And I haven't had a vegan or animal rights person yet give me any hate mail. It's only ever been hunters for siding with Doc, which is nuts. But there's always those 1%ers that are always
well, I guess it's always humans at scale. Hey, it's anything at scale starts to suffer, expose the cracks, I guess.
Yeah, when you get someone that's so passionate about something that I think the key to life is to come into a conversation with openness and think, I could actually be wrong on this, so I'm going to engage in the conversation with the possibility of learning, and I might come away from the table with a complete reverse of what I thought before I sat down on the table. So I really, really try and do that, which it's greatly benefited me in so many ways. It really has. So when I get if there was animal rights, vegans, I'd love to have them for dinner. I'd love to be standing in front of them. I'd love to be maybe not stripped down. No one wants to be stripped down, but I just want to understand their view, and because there's a lot of passion there, and then maybe I can tap into that passion and harness it for a project like this.
Yeah,
it's just bringing people together, and I
always force myself to watch those. Oh, I'm saying that I haven't watched Game Changers yet, but I've watched like Forks Over Nose, Cowspiracy, What the Health. I've forced myself to watch them. There's something to be said for hearing the other side of the argument and having a think about where you'd, what you'd disagree with them on, and then like also looking at, how do I feel about that? It like forces you to really define your boundaries and your position, and so like don't shy away from that type of stuff. Obviously, try your best to keep things civil. No one wants to be yelled at or told that they're a demon or I hope you die or hope something kills you. But
I can't believe it. I can't believe when you get those radicalists that will threaten families and kids. It's like, what the hell's up with that? It's insane.
Yeah, but it's right. It's good to come and sit at the table and talk. That's what I thought was so great about the liaison group. Like people of different perspectives were trying to come up with a solution. Yeah,
and they're shining because of it.
Yeah.
There's in the media, everything is about, especially Wooly. Wooly's incredible, eh?
Yeah.
He's doing such a good job, and how he's portraying the whole thing and the willingness to want firstly to say, yep, there's too much tar. Definitely. We've got too much and we want to control it. And what can we do? It's great. And that comes with openness and science as well. Where's the science?
Yeah. He did a really good job on Serious Country. He applied everything to farming. That's what Cam Speedy does as well. He just like switches game animal management to a farming model and like carrying capacity and feed budget and all that sort of stuff.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's really understandable.
There's a few stock units on that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mate, so on Tararua Wild Foundation, is there anything more that you'd like people to know, or what they can do at the moment? And
well, firstly, in my normal style, I've done everything in reverse. So I've gone all the contacts, got everything pretty much ticked off and okayed, and then I'm building, well, not from the bottom now, I'm probably midway up to having it actually completed with the correct legalities and everything like that. So there's a few sponsors. So another thing that I've done is everything is, like I said, it's been ticked off. Instead of sitting on my hands waiting for funding, government funding, which is not really my style, so I then thought, bugger it, I want to kick off the first quarter, the first 250 traps with the hunting community, with sponsorship, and there's a few that have really, really helped out there, whether it's big or small, and there's more people to come on board. But if I can do it with sponsorship and mainly through the outdoors and hunting community, I'm going to get it documented by, I've asked Cam if he's interested. He hasn't got back to me yet, so hopefully I want that sort of professionalism and filming. There's some amazing artists out there, isn't it, behind the camera. Then the trust will be fully set. Then I can go to funding with a tangible. I'm not coming to them with an idea. Yeah, it's a structure of how that's going to play out on paper. This is the documentary. This is the trap. This trap was here. So I'm going to then go out to the community. So first quarter is going to be the hunting community. The rest of it is going to be that common ground that I'm talking about. And I want funding to be for a tangible asset. So I want people to buy a trap. Their family name will go on that trap, and they'll get a quarterly report of where that trap is, how it's doing, what it's caught. If it hasn't caught anything, maybe repositioned, or and I don't really want the funding to come in to then just go into a pool of, I shouldn't say not nothingness, but if someone is donating, I don't want it to go to lawyers or anything like that. I'm going to take care of that side of it, or the government's going to take care of that side. Obviously there'll be a contractor's fee to get the traps in there, and there'll be volunteers and everything like that as well, but that has to be orchestrated by a correct structure of 2 paid staff at least. So that's the plan. That's where that middle ground comes in, and this is just the start. So it's not really just the reintroduction of the Pharaoh into Tararua's, it's reintroduction into Wellington. So I'll start in the Tararua's, 1,000 traps, especially when I get the Kiwis in there. Obviously there's not going to be any 1080 drop in that area. Then I'm just going to filter through the Tararua's, already looking at where the next one will be. We're already talking about where that be, and then maybe move to the Haringis, something like that.
Connect up to Zealandia.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Yeah, well, it's cool, eh?
All the way to Wellington.
A hunter got hold of me, really digs what I'm doing, so he's in the Udu areas, and he's like, oh, geez, man, I just want to do the same thing. I'm driven to get it done up there as well. Yeah. So I'm just going to fire him the contacts that I've got, and it'll just be a constant constant spread. I'm not trying to make it sound like it's my idea, because it's Seeker Foundation, and they do an amazing
Foundation.
Rohini Foundation, and Fiordland Foundation. They do a bit of predator control. They could probably do a bit more, but their model's a bit different, because that's more towards herd management.
Yeah.
And with predator control in there, probably because it has to be.
Yeah.
Whereas the others that are throughout New Zealand, that's just predator control, really.
Yeah.
And it's an offset of maybe herd management when it comes to Seeker Foundation.
Yeah. Mate, I've never seen a kiwi in the wild. And every time I've thought I've heard one, turns out they're more porks.
Oh.
I even had a video. I was like, I think I'm listening to a kiwi, and a number of people said, mate, no, that's a more pork. I was like,
because they made that second noise,
Yeah. That's how they're kiwi. But
it's incredible, eh?
But I have seen Theo heaps, and I don't know if Dave told you, but on our Makino hunt where we cleared the traps on the Makino Mohaka, we saw 9 of them in this one spot, just running around in the river flats. Like, we'd seen 4 at the Tapuia Springs, and then we walked down a bit further along the Mohaka, and then there was this sort of shallow area, and they were just spinning around. And
just whitewater rafting.
Yeah, I was like, nah, surely that must be Perry's. And then we got the binoculars up. I was like, oh no, that's them. That's amazing. and same Blue River. Hear them doing that sort of whistly, squealy. It's not a quack. It's not a quack, is it? But they're starting. And I think we even saw them in Timaru Creek as well. Like,
it's a bit of a hunter's thing, isn't it? When you if you don't hunt, or you maybe to an outsider it's just a duck. And like, what's all this fuss about this duck? Jeez, these guys are crazy about these ducks. But then it's just another connection, isn't it, with the with the bush? So they reckon it looks like it'd probably be about a year and a half, maybe 2 years max, of me trapping, and when they're going to let me release them in there.
Well, obviously I've committed to this 100k in January, and one of the things I'm thinking about doing is trying to raise up some funds for it. And obviously once you get the figure on the trap, have that as sort of one of the ways you can donate and just fully buy into the trap.
Dude, that'd be incredible.
Been talking with someone else, and I won't throw them in the deep end. I'll let them come to you about it, but that's the idea that we had in parallel. So
that's fantastic. That's making a difference, eh?
It serves 2 purposes, mate. I've love to support you, and it gives me a little bit of accountability.
Don't let me down.
You're
committed now.
Get through this bloody training program over the next 6 months. So that'd be awesome, man.
So I was just going to touch on who's helping me with this
that'd be good
as well.
That'd be good.
So Gareth from Victory Knives, which is amazing because Auckland based, away from the Tararuas. Actually, he was on a podcast. Just messaged him because you could just tell he was passionate about it, and he came on board straight away, which was quite amazing.
As I said to you when we spoke, because I haven't released it yet, that he was stoked on you, and we talk. I don't know which order it'll come out in, but we talk about you and how awesome it is.
So he's going to launch a limited blade. It'll be pretty soon. I think it's on the 1st. Not sure when this is coming out. And then a massive portion of the funds from the sale of that goes directly back to either go to Cam Speedy's report. He's doing it at a great price as well, or just go back to traps. Venator Outdoors, Dave, he's about to release, I'm sure it's all right to say now because he's been putting the teasers out. I hope it's okay. But he is about to release an incredible training. It's amazing.
Nice.
training program.
Yeah, he's definitely putting teasers out.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because we know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
But
The relentless hunter, he's calling it.
Yeah.
And from my understanding, I haven't seen it yet, but it will be a sort of 3-month training program.
Wicked.
Leading up to the big things towards the exhibition kind of style hunts, which is great too, because instead of waiting for that D-Day when you're going in the chopper or you're walking, you're in it 3 months prior, which is great. So he is going to put that up, and then a portion of his sales will go directly to the foundation. Plus, he's going to help out with time of actually helping cut the tracks and stuff like that. Dog and Gun Coffee, and these people just messaged me. I messaged Victory Knives, but Dog and Gun just said, "Man, where do I get involved? What do I do?"
Yeah.
So he's on board as well.
Yeah, Sean's an absolute legend.
Oh, isn't he? He's great.
Yeah. And the coffee's bloody good. I've
Oh,
got the laptops sitting on my box of coffee for tomorrow, and you've got some for tomorrow too.
I have Nectar of the Gods. Even his cup, I drink out of it all the time. Yeah. When I'm drinking it, I make sure everyone else sees the label.
Absolutely.
Ben from MIA. Again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same thing. He got hold of me and said, "I want to give you one of their incredible tents."
Yeah.
One of their incredible hot tents. So that will be used as a more briefing area. So that's insane. Again, he's not in the area as well. So I think he's from this area possibly.
I think he's hunted a few times, but yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Eli, lightweight hunter, said him, and those two, share notes on Tararuas and reviews a bit.
Yep.
But yeah.
So MIA, amazing, unbelievable. Then there was this other guy, Core Tool, which isn't in the hunting sector, but he rang me up from Mongolia, and and he is into mining, drilling, and he just basically said when he is over here, he's a Kiwi, when he's over here and they're drilling in the back blocks, quite often they can be involved in protests because it's in their industry, and he just thought, man, actually I need to give back. So, and he was real genuine. It wasn't so he could say to the protesters, "Well, I do my bit."
Yeah.
It was genuine that he just wanted to do something for conservation.
Wow.
For himself. So he's just actually he's just adding in a cash injection. So, and then there is a timber merchant, which I won't name yet because they're just about to say okay on supplying all the timber for me to make the boxes. A lawyer's come on board that's doing it for free, which is local, that's incredible, Capity Law. And there's an accountant that's come on board as well to do it for free. Yeah, so it's buzzing, and we're all buzzing off each other.
Yeah.
There was one shop he's amazing, Hamels from Taupo. He said, "How can I help?" But that poor bugger's just getting slammed by people asking for free shit at the moment. So I messaged him yesterday and said, "Mate, why don't we'll leave it for now.
Yeah.
Wait until everyone stops asking for free shit." And,
it's so funny as well, because like with Garrett as well, he's like, "Oh mate, just flick through stuff to Instagram because I'm on there," but he's like, "But the ones that say, can you send me some free knives?" they're not getting a response. I said, "Mate,
that's incredible."
Yeah,
man.
and we were talking about Hamels Topor as well. Like I think this is going to be the fourth podcast in a row where he gets a name drop. Cause,
is that right?
He's doing bloody awesome.
Yeah,
and obviously the first one was with Radix, and he's stocking them, like awesome move. That stuff's the shit.
Oh, it's amazing stuff.
And then with Gareth, we were talking about how I think he's selling Victory knives there as well, which is
is he?
Yeah, bloody good,
man.
And then now again he's come up, so full credit to what they're doing there at Hamels and Topor. Like Thursday night I think he hosted the business district or something because of their new shop. And I was
That's right.
That's cool. That like obviously hunting's pretty big in Central Plateau, but for them to be hosting the business district of Taupo, like wicked.
Well, when he we spoke, he sort of introduced himself and said, he's a small family business, and he said it's not corporate, it's not big, and then and I cut him off, and I should have cut him off, and I said, mate, I don't give a shit how big or small someone is. I care about the passion of the man, and you're passionate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's it. So I think he actually. I'm sure he's stoked that I just said, let's just leave it for now. And it might, because all I wanted really was just discounts for volunteers, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, they're awesome there, man. So where do people find it all at the moment?
So my main thing that I'm on is Free Range Hunting NZ, but I have started Tararua Wild Foundation Instagram as well. Yeah, I pretty much just float on Insta because of all the negativity on Facebook. So I've only put this bugger all post on the Tararua Wild Foundation at the moment, but I'll definitely put more up. And when I launch the buy a box thing, there'll be updates on where I'm at. I pretty much want to be in there in September. I want to cut the tracks. And Doc haven't funded me yet, but that will probably be inevitable. But if they don't, it's happening anyway. It doesn't matter. They're supplying me with all the markers and all the contacts. That's all I need. JD is also another one from Amalgamated Helicopters. He's such a hard bugger to get a hold of, but he's an amazing guy. He knows the Tarraruas in the back of his hand, so
wicked.
He's going to help out too somehow.
Champ.
So there you go. And Wild Eats NZ if you want to check out how to cook rabbit.
And how to skin it the fast way.
Oh, that's right. I put that up for you actually.
Yeah, because I'd forgotten about sock method, and then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I'd got caught up from gutting deer that I was doing it that way, and then I was like, oh no, you just pull it off.
Well, when they're warm.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I mean, so the last question, Justin.
Yeah.
You must have thought about it. What's the thing that doesn't do you wrong, shows up in your life when things are going right?
I was thinking about this today because I knew this was coming, and there's one thing that I always butcher it when I say it, and it's by Mahatma Gandhi, but I interpret it my own way. Land will provide every man's need, but not every man's greed. And I think it's just perfect, and I know he says it differently, but that's how I interpret it. And another thing I just can't emphasize enough is go out in life to impress only yourself, not others. And you do see the fakers and everyone that's just stop doing shit for other people. You don't need recognition. You've got to get that recognition from yourself first before, if you yearn for recognition from others. And that will flow anyway, if that's what you need.
We did it.